Thank you all. Today's our guest is Dr. Asha B. Varghese, BHMS, MSc, CFT. Chief Physician, Ambadi Homeopathic Clinic, Kundala Halle, Bangalore 37. Presently, the President of Indian Homeopathic Medical Association, Bangalore chapter, and 25 years of experience. She already had taken so many classes in our Malayalam session and in English session. And she is a very potent lady with vigor and very strong words. She is having very strong words in dealing cases and I can say, I admit her many times that she was a very, very brave and intelligent personality without any obstacles or hindrance of taking her classes. Now, above everything, above all that, she is our beloved Dr. Ambadi's, Dr. Ramadevi Ambadi's daughter. Yesterday, she took class. Today, her daughter taking class. And their family get together taking all the classes here. So that is very great. So such places very interesting. Today she is dealing the subject. Already she had taken many classes of polycystic ovary and its homeopathic management and sterility and everything related with the sexual disability and everything, sterility and everything she had taken classes. And now she is dealing with the polycystic ovary. That is a difficult case for many of our doctors while dealing if the ovarian cysts are more and size, so that at that time we will be very much difficult to take classes. So let us watch and hear her, listen carefully the class. Thank you, doctor. You can now start for the next 45 minutes of your class. After that, there will be a discussion part. So you can start now.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful words you've been telling about me. With a silent prayer to our master, I would like to start the class. I will just proceed with the class, sir. I'll share the screen, sir. Just check if it is.
Yeah, I shall make you co-host.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can now do.
1 second. Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, this is zero.
So humble request, if I'm going too fast, kindly ensure, please ask me to slow down a bit, sir.
Okay. I shall apply break all the time.
Yes, sir. I think you might have to do it frequently. Okay. So today's topic is polycystic ovaries. So I haven't mentioned it as, syndrome or the disease. It is generally taken as PCO, because we'll be covering up both PCOD as well as PCOS. So I'll start with polycystic ovarian syndrome is a condition in which the ovaries produce an abnormal amount of androgen, that is the male sex hormone, that are usually present in women, but in small quantities or the small amount. The name polycystic ovarian syndrome describes the numerous small cyst-filled sacs that forms in the ovaries. With polycystic ovarian syndrome, many small sacs of fluid develop along the outer edge of the ovary. These cysts are filled with they contain immature eggs. These are called follicles. The follicles fail to regularly release eggs. I hope I'm not too fast, sir.
It's okay.
Yeah, these
This
are
tempo
matters
is
which
okay. This tempo is
yes,
okay.
yes. The exact cause of PCOS is unknown, and early diagnosis and treatment along with weight loss may lower the risk of long-term complications like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. This is something we all know that PCOS can eventually lead to cardiac illnesses as well. We'll be covering it up later, sir. Now, PCOD. It is mostly caused by a combination of hormonal imbalance and genetic tendencies. In a standard menstrual cycle, the two ovaries alternately, they release the eggs alternatively every month. For someone with PCOD, the ovaries will often release either immature or partially mature eggs, which may not develop into, the mature, there will be no maturity in the eggs. So it can get filled with the fluid liquid, which was like similar to PCOS. But here, the hormonal imbalances may or may not be associated. It can be seen through ultrasonography or the ultrasound imaging. So by definition, polycystic ovarian disease syndrome is a hormonal disorder characterized by hormonal imbalances, irregular menstrual cycle, and the presence of cysts on the ovaries. While PCOD or polycystic ovarian disease refers to the presence of multiple small cysts on the ovaries detected through ultrasonography may or may not be associated with hormonal imbalances or other symptoms. Symptoms of PCOS. So I'll not be covering too much of PCOD since the PCOS is given priority today. So I'll be covering up more of PCOS. Symptoms of PCOS often start around the time of first menstrual period. Sometimes symptoms develop later after you have periods for a while. In the sense, it can start during menarche, that is the first menses, or you might later on develop it after a few cycles or a few menstrual cycles. The symptoms of PCOS vary. A diagnosis of PCOS is made when you have at least two of the below stated symptoms. One is irregular period. Having few menstrual periods or having periods that are not regular are common signs of PCOS. So you might have fewer than 9 periods per year. These periods may occur more than 35 days apart, and the women generally might find it difficult to get pregnant. Too much androgen. High levels of the hormone androgen may result in excess facial hair and body hair, which is called hirsutism, and sometimes severe acne and even male pattern baldness can happen. So we get sometimes women with male pattern baldness. So we need to rule out, we need to ensure that they do not have PCOS. Polycystic ovaries. Your ovaries may be bigger and many follicles containing immature eggs may develop around the edge of the ovary. The ovary may not work the way they should. It is associated with irregular PCOS, so therefore it's associated with irregular periods, excess androgen or male hormone, leading to hirsutism, acne, male pattern baldness, and also causes infertility issues, weight gain, and metabolic problems like insulin resistance. PCOD may also present with similar symptoms like PCOS, but the hormonal imbalance and other symptoms may not be as pronounced or predominant as the PCOS. Causes. The exact cause of PCOS is not known. However, some of the factors that might play a role include insulin resistance. Insulin is a hormone that the pancreas make. It allows cells to use sugar, your body's primary energy supply, and these cells become resistant to the action of insulin. Then the blood sugar levels go up. This can cause your body to make more insulin to try to bring down the blood sugar level. Too much insulin might cause your body to make too much of male hormone androgen. So this is the relation between the insulin and the male hormone production. You could have trouble with ovulation and the process where eggs are released from the ovary. One sign of insulin resistance is dark velvety patches of skin on the lower part of the neck, armpits, groin, or under the breast. A bigger appetite, weight gain may also be other signs. We have many patients who come with dark patches, especially around the neck area, etc. So we need to check for the insulin and also their HbA1c, 3 months average of their sugar levels. I believe, is it completely clear, sir, the screen?
Okay, but now it is somewhat small.
Yeah,
last time it is okay.
Yes, sir, because I think...
Just, you make it some more big.
I'll just put it down 1 second, because the first line would not be visible otherwise.
Make it slightly big.
Yes.
Now okay.
Yeah. People with PCOS have a long-term low-grade inflammation that leads to polycystic ovaries, which produces androgens. And this can lead to cardiac or blood vessel problems, heart or blood vessel problems. Sometimes you have a hereditary tendency. Certain genes might be linked to PCOS. Having a family history of polycystic ovarian syndrome may play a role in developing the condition. Excess androgen. With PCOS, the ovaries may produce high levels of androgen, and having too much androgen interferes with ovulation. This means that the eggs do not develop on a regular basis and they are not released from the follicles where they develop. Excess androgen can also result in hirsutism and acne, as was said earlier. Treatment. Treatment for PCOS focuses on managing symptoms and addressing the underlying hormonal imbalances. It includes lifestyle modifications, diet, and exercise. So generally, I haven't mentioned it because the slides would be too many. So generally, what I do is I ask them to reduce the carbohydrates and increase their proteins, and first fiber, then proteins, and then carbohydrates. So I'll just tell you a hint as to how I, generally deal with the patient's diet. I ask them to finish their salads first, followed by their protein, whatever the source of protein, vegetarian or, meat eaters, and then the carbohydrates and exercises. Exercises is a compulsion in PCOD, especially PCO, all kinds. And if they are younger children, I ask them to go for jumping rope or skipping. There are few pressure points under the feet, which helps them, which will regularize their menses. So either that or any kind of cardiovascular exercises or yoga practices can help. Medications to regulate menstrual cycles and hormone levels, and infertility issues is what most of them come with. Even that has to be dealt with. PCOD treatment, it also involves similar lifestyle changes and medications to manage symptoms, but the approach is less aggressive in comparison to PCOS, especially if there is no significant hormonal imbalance or fertility issues. What are the complications of PCOS? It might include infertility, gestational diabetes, which is very common in today's era, or pregnancy-induced high blood pressure. Earlier, blood pressure was related to only salt, but of late there are researches which show that the bad insulin in our body can lead to high blood pressure. So whenever the patient is coming with high blood pressure, it is not only important that we ask them to reduce their salt and oily food, etc., but also to reduce their carbohydrates and white sugars. I am in favor of jaggery more than sugar, especially white sugar. So I'm advocating lots of jaggery instead of white sugar. Miscarriage or premature birth, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, a severe liver inflammation caused by fat buildup in the liver. Metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, unhealthy cholesterol, or the low density cholesterols, or triglyceride levels that can significantly risk your heart and blood vessels. It can lead to cardiovascular diseases. Type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, sleep apnea, depressions, anxiety, and eating disorders. Depressions is seen in all ages. It can be seen especially even in younger kids, especially teenagers, due to their hectic schedules, the demands of the daily life, their studies, and it can even lead to personality disorders. I have had many cases in which they cut their hands, try self-harm, etc. So these cases, sometimes we need to refer them to psychiatrists, but sometimes, counseling sessions are done, CBT is done. So we should be a little careful in handling self-harm cases, because they will be very suicidal, and, a spur of a moment, anything can happen. And it can even lead to cancer of the uterine lining or the endometrial cancer. Obesity commonly occurs with PCOS and can worsen complications of the disorder. PCOS and PCOD sound similar. In PCOD, the ovaries start releasing immature eggs that lead to hormonal imbalance and swollen ovaries, among other symptoms. While in PCOS, endocrine issues causes the ovaries to produce excess androgens, which makes eggs prone to become cysts. These cysts won't, however, be released like in PCOD. Rather, they will build up in the ovaries themselves. Now we'll look at the hypothalamus pituitary ovarian axis, or the HPO axis. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS. It is a complex endocrine disorder that affects many women of reproductive age, which is characterized by a range of symptoms, including irregular menstrual cycles, hormonal imbalances, ovarian cyst, and metabolic disturbances. The hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis plays a crucial role in regulating the reproductive function affected in PCOS. Now I'll explain each of the above. The hypothalamus, a region in the brain, produces gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH, which stimulates the pituitary gland to release follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. In PCOS, these can be alterations. There can be alterations in GnRH secretion, which leads to disrupted signal in the HPO axis. The pituitary gland, which is situated at the base of the brain, responds to GnRH by the hypothalamus by releasing FSH and LH, the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. FSH is responsible for stimulating the growth of ovarian follicles, while LH triggers ovulation and promotes the production of androgen or male hormones by the ovaries. In PCOS, there is often an imbalance in FSH and LH level, with higher LH level relative to FSH, contributing to the characteristic hormonal profile of PCOS. So in short, there can be an imbalance between FSH and LH levels. So it is necessary for us to go for investigations of follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, along with the thyroid and all the rest of the investigations. In women with PCOS, the ovaries may have multiple small follicles, which are called cysts, that fail to mature properly and can lead to irregular menstrual cycles and difficulties with ovulation. The increased production of androgen by ovaries in response to the elevated LH level, it contributes to the symptom of hyperandrogenism, that is acne, hirsutism, male pattern hair loss, which is generally seen in PCOS. So what happens when the HPO axis get dysregulated? The dysregulation of the HPO axis in PCOS can result in several key features. First one is anovulation or irregular or absent ovulation is common in PCOS, which leads to no menses and therefore infertility or difficulty in conceiving too. Hyperandrogenism, elevated levels of androgens, the male hormone, contributes to the physical manifestation of PCOS such as acne, hirsutism or excessive hair growth and male pattern baldness. The HPO axis can also affect our insulin. There will be insulin resistance. Many women with PCOS also experience insulin resistance, leading to metabolic issues like weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and even cardiovascular problems. PCOS, down the line, they are at very high risk of cardiovascular issues that we must be aware of. So their diet and the regime should be monitored. So I'll go to the case.
Yes, yes. Yes, certainly.
Yeah. I kept it as a small session, sir, because there's not much of, much to say in PCOS. So we can have lots of questions if necessary after that. Case 1. So it was a lady, Mrs. D. Ultrasonography was showing PCOS. Hemoglobin 11.5. Thyroid was normal. Testosterone was normal. HbA1c 5.9. FSH 5 normal. LH was 20. In the follicular phase, it should be around 1.68 to 115 international unit per liter. Taken on the 7th day of menses. Menses irregular. No two menses are the same. Occasionally heavy, sometimes scanty. Once in 2 to 3 to 4 months she was getting. Mind sensitive, mild, irritable. Few days before menses, quite moody, feels low and depressed easily. And her biggest sadness was that she was not getting pregnant. All of her husband's reports were normal. See, the thing is, I generally take a very long case. Like, I have done my post-graduation in, counseling, and I'm also doing my post-graduation diploma in mental health. So my case takings are very long generally. So I haven't done the whole thing. So I put it in all in gist. So we call it catharsis in the sense they speak out their problems and half of them feel, happy. At least there's someone to talk to without being, no fear of being judged. So generally they just talk to us. So we ask questions and, most importantly, you make them feel comfortable. We tell them it's confidential. So that is a typical case taking. We all know that, every homeopath knows that. So I don't have to teach, say this. Though nobody says anything, she kind of feels very bad and sad about that the fact that it could be because of her PCOS that she's not conceiving. Everybody in the family is very kind. It's a Christian family. So she got married to a person in Australia. So he's also my patient now. So a very nice couple. So the first sitting was on 21/1/2022, LMP October 2021. The case was, repertorized. So in short, this is Pulsatilla, Kalicarp, and Phosphorus, Senecio, Conium, Sepia. Pulsatilla 200, 2 doses was given. She was anemic. So I took FP6X 4 pills 4 times every day. February, LMP I think is not seen. February, she got very scanty menses. So I gave her Pulsatilla 200, 2 doses. with folliculum 30 BD initially. And then after that, she got her menses on 17th of March 2022. SL2 doses, folliculum OD was continued, 30. And then after that, her menses was very normal. Flow was very good. Hemoglobin had gone up. I forgot to mention it here. And LMP, April 23rd of April. SL again 2 doses. Folliculum was stopped. LMP again 25/5/2022. Sorry. Yeah, the dates are a little wrong again. So yeah, it's 2022. I'm sorry. So she got the last menses in 25/5/2022. July 2022. I'm sorry, its pregnancy was positive. Now she has a 1-year-old child. They're going back to Australia now. So folliculum, the dilution can help regulate hormonal imbalance in women. Second case, I'll just explain this before I start the second case, because most of the cases I either go for again exercises, diet regime, and constitutional medicines, etc. So most of the cases are like do not have too much of complications. So this is a case which had had me running around quite bad. It was the case. I'll let you know about it. Every month between day 6 and 14 of the menstrual cycle, FSH causes follicles in one of the ovaries to begin to mature. However, during 10 to 14 days, only one of the developing follicles forms a fully mature egg. At about day 14 in the menstrual cycle, a sudden surge in LH causes the mature follicle to rupture and release its egg. There is ovulation. So I'll explain to you why I have told this, because I have used certain medicines which was a little rare. So there was this girl, Miss A, 20 years. So we started her case in 25/7/2022. Menses was irregular. So she had come to me in, last menstrual period was Jan 2022. A few drops after lots of medicine. She was around 5, she's around 5'8" or so, pretty tall for an average Indian girl. She was on allopathic medicines, Ayurvedic medicines, and even she tried homeopathy. Almost for 2 years, she was on medications. Her menarche was around 14 years. Menses was always irregular, but the doctors asked her to wait until 18 years is what the mother is telling, which I doubt, because they come from a very conservative Tamil family. So they must have said like, it is okay, like, it will become all right by age, because earlier the menarche used to be pretty late, by around 17, 18, etc. And so the grandparents and the mother also had a late menarche. But this child had her first menses when she was 14 years old. Ultrasonography, which she produced at that time, showed fatty liver with bilateral polycystic ovaries, HbA1c 5.1, TSH 6.18, and she had thick white leukorrhea, no odor, no itching. And this child is very good in studies. She's very good in studies. She's been topping in all her 10th grade, the 12th grade, and she got through into a very good college. And she was like very, very good in studies. She spends lots of hours studying, very strict upbringing, as I said, the Tamil Brahmin family. And but I mean, as I said, I have a very detailed case history. So the child, she did not feel constrained in the family, or she felt it was okay, because that's how she's been brought up from the time she was small. She was very adjusting, and she would not cause any tantrums, no crying, or the general tantrum seen in teenagers. Nothing was seen in her. The repetization showed pulsatilla, natramo, sepia, etc. Repertory, pulsatilla 640 marks, natramo 500 marks. But I had given her natramo 201 dose. Pulsatilla was not given, though it was showing the pulsatilla that she was not typically a pulsatilla child. August 2022, no menses in August, was asked to do a few tests, but the patient had exams. So August, she did not get her menses. She never comes to buy medicines. Her mother comes. Mother says, anyway, doctor, you don't have to examine her, no? So it's okay, like if I come and pick it up. I said, okay. So like, she comes to pick up. August, she didn't get anything, and she started getting worried. So I gave her Ashoka tincture. Generally, I gave Ashoka tincture for children as an inducer sometimes when the case is very severe. Natamur 201 dose was given. She started getting her acne and thyroid started coming down, but I was very particular that she should go for a walk in the sunlight, that is morning and evening sunlight. Generally, the sunlight we show children when they have neonatal jaundice, like weaning and wanning sun, So then morning and evening, I asked her to go for walks, which she was not able to do. So I asked her to go to the terrace and at least jump rope or do some exercises or sit there and study in the sunlight. So she used to go in the morning before her school, sit there for 15 minutes. Evening, she used to try to sit there for half an hour. So, vitamin D is very essential, like, integral part for the thyroid to get regulated. Then menses appeared on 12/10/2022. That was very scanty menses. Just a few drops appeared. Then again, we continued same medicines and no menses until, almost May 23. And I was never getting to see the child, and I've been telling these people to do some investigations they were not doing. At last June, I'm sorry about the date. Yeah. Total testosterone in June 22, she did the total testosterone. So that was 77.40. The normal range is 70. Free testosterone was 1.23. It is 0.1 to 0.85. Bioavailable testosterone 30.25 up to 20.220 is the range. It refers to both free testosterone and that which is bound to the albumin. Thyroid had come down. The patient she won some award for her projects in college. Then I started folliculum 30 OD. August 2023, no menses did not come. Then I gave her FSH 200 2 doses, follicle stimulating hormone. That was a new medicine which I came across, and by referred, I have a very, good backup. So I got some, and I got the medicines from Germany. So FSH 200 2 doses was given, folliculum 30 OD, and she got her menses on 6th of September 2023. Then again, folliculum 30 was given OD. Again, October 2023, she got her menses on 25th of October. Folliculum 30 OD. November, no menses. December, she got her menses on 12/12/2023. Then I gave her SL. January, she got it on 21st. Then it has been going on regular. So whenever the things start going regular and smooth, I don't generally interfere with medication. So I give SL. So the SL has been going on since then, and she's been getting it every month. But I should say that the child is regularly doing her exercises now. And, menses is normal. I can't say it's like very good flow, but it is like around 3 to 4 days she's getting it now. This is the second case. So I'll go to the remedy explanation. Calcarea carb is generally given for menses which is too profuse, too long. Fair, fat, flabby, but not strong children. Feet are cold, profuse perspiration, least mental excitement, physical exertion increases the flow, like in sulfur and tuberculum. Aggravation, full moon. So these children can have mood swings quite a lot, especially the teenage children. They'll have during the moon phases, especially the full moon. EC displacement of uterus for older people, milky leukorrhea, sterility with copious menses for people who are trying to conceive, uterine fibroids or polyps. Second one is xanthocylum. So I haven't written all the medicines. I'll explain a few after this, like xanthocylum, menses too early and painful. It can even be given in potencies, and tinctures also works wonderfully. Menses too early and painful, ovarian neuralgia or pain in the ovarian region on the left side. Pain in the loin area, just below the rib cage to just above the pelvis. Pain lower abdomen, pain extending down the thighs. These are complaints which most of the kids, tell us during dysmenorrhea. Neuralgic dysmenorrhea, neuralgic headaches. Generally, neuralgic or, characteristics of the children. Menses black and thick. Thin constitution, they are very thin generally. So generally during the teenage time, we can give this. Nervous individuals. Neurotic individuals, otherwise we can call them. They are like, they get like argentum nitricum, etc. They get very nervous very easily. They feel better after vomiting. Aggravation sleep, amelioration just lying down. Dreams of flying, which is very rare. I never got any child telling me a dream of flying in Zatosylum. Thalapsy bursa, there is metrorrhagia, violent uterine colic. Alternate periods are profuse. This is, I have a recent case. I could not feed in all my cases. It was a child. She's a state level shooter, shooting competition she goes for at the state level. So this child, she has this typical symptom where she says that alternate periods are profuse. So thalapsy bursa has helped her quite a lot. She's also a child with PCOS. So I couldn't include so many cases into this. Uterine fibroids, cramping pain, cupra metallicum, violent colic. Macphos, polo also can be thought of. Clots. Thalapsy bursa has clots during their menses. Leukorrhea, stains. She scarcely recovers from one menses, the next period starts. Pain in the lower abdomen, aggravation on waking up in the morning, and they love buttermilk or something to refresh them like acid phos. Desire to move about. Sabina, another medicine of my choice for profuse menses. Bright red blood like millefolium. Discharge of blood between periods. I give ferrum phos generally for discharge of blood between periods, 6x, 4 pills 4 times a day, along with Sabina or any other medicines of my choice, whichever I get it. But ferrum phos generally I certainly give for discharge of spotting or discharge of blood between periods. Pain from sacrum to pubis. Pain below, upward, shooting up the vagina and thighs. Clotted blood, aggravation, least exertion. So Sabina can be thought of infection of uterus after abortion. Music is intolerable. So generally we have too much of menses, etc. We can think of calcarea carp. If the menses is too early, too short, we can think of tuja. Vagina is very sensitive, prevents coition in married women. Left ovarian pain, aggravation, menses. Cervical erosions, warts, feeling of low self-esteem and worthlessness. This is a very important modality or a symptom, especially with women who are trying to conceive and who are in joint families. They're generally blamed for reasons which they are not responsible for because they have some issue. So they feel very low in their self-esteem and they feel very worthless. Very fragile they feel at times. So we have, heard of them particular symptom as if made of glass. So tuja is typically that. So that shows us low self-esteem. So you will not have people coming and tell us, I feel like I'm made of glass, etc. No. So they will say, how low they feel, how worthless they feel, how fragile they feel. Folliculum, the dilution can help regulate hormonal imbalance in women. It stimulates the production of hormones in the body. It helps in regulating the female cycles. The remedy folliculum is made from estrone, a synthetic form of estrogen, and women needing the remedy folliculum often experience symptoms from ovulation to menses. The aims of the study. So FSH, I haven't got any theory regarding that, but this is, out of a research paper for FSH, where the medicine has been studied in 6CH potency, where there has been the follicular development was better than comparison to, where the medium was not given FSH. So generally, inducers are there. Inducers, like we have PCOS, very severe cases of PCOS, like the second case which I told you, which might come with absolutely no menses for months together, and the parents start getting impatient, they start getting irritated, etc. So if at all, like, we need to give tinctures, I generally prefer Ashoka for children. Sorry, there has been. Yeah, just Ashoka, or I give Senecio mother tincture. Ashoka and Senecio generally I prefer for children, but Gossypium I prefer for older people. And also I give constitutional medicines like Lachesis, which helps quite a lot. Lycopodium is another thing of my preference of my choice, depending on the constitution. And in like Lachesis, they become very, they dress up very nicely. They look very pretty. They look, they're very attractive, Lachesis, and very talkative people, etc. So I repertorize, and generally Lachesis help me quite a lot. Lycopodium, generally there is a suppression of anger, especially in fertility cases. Lycopodium has helped me quite a lot with women who just, especially as I said, in joint family, they stay there amongst lots of people who probably are blaming them for no fault of theirs. And then they need to suppress in certain conditions, especially we have joint families in India here. There. And yeah, and Hamamelis can be thought of for very severe bleeding. Millifolium, again, another excellent medicine of choice. Yes. That's it, doctor.
Okay, very nice.
Thank you.
Very highly informative. And now this is the time for asking questions. Doctor, you feel which potency of folliculum is much helpful?
Yeah, I have got good effects with 30 and also 200, doctor. Both has given me good results, but I give it on the particular day. So I'll just share the screen again. I'll let you know. I have even used LH in potencies. 1 second, doctor. I'll just go back to the screen. See, in this, I have told you about FSH causes follicles in one of the ovary to begin maturing from day 6 to 14. So FSH I generally give by around 5th or 6th day. And if at all I give LH, it will be between before by 10th or 14th day, so that it will enhance the process of luteinizing hormone in our body.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah.
Now,
So
after that folliculum, we will give LH, isn't it?
I start with, I haven't used FSH too frequently, doctor. So as I said, I procured it, say about a few years back. So 30, 200, both I got. So I just gave 2 doses. That is, as I said, on the 6th or the 5th or the 6th day after the onset of menses, and followed by folliculum. And sometimes I have even used ovarianum or ovary in certain cases. Yeah, another one, hirsutism, I generally prefer oleum jet, 3x potency. That is also one medicine which has helped me quite a lot. Oleum jet 3x, which is cod liver capsules, I believe it is made of cod liver. And then LH, as I said, on the 10th or the 11th day, like just before the LH functioning in our body, I generally give LH to enhance the action of the LH. Just given very good results. So lots of cases of PCOS are seen now because of our sedentary lifestyle, and because our kids are too much into studies, I should say, less of play and too much of studies, and lots of cases of polycystic ovaries nowadays.
We are giving more than 2 or 3 potent doses. What will be the result?
I
If
haven't
we are
really
continuing
given
for
more
3 days
than
at the 3 times in a day, have you ever experienced it?
No, doctor. I've literally not given because these are like this medicine I haven't given more than 2 doses. But I think by the 2 doses itself, on that particular day itself, we are just enhancing the process of FSH. But follicle number I have given OD on a regular basis. Many cases I had to give because eventually once the follicle starts, it's like a conditioned reflex, I should say, or conditioned, property in our body. Once it start ovulating, probably it will continue. But then exercise, weight reduction, etc., is very important.
Another question, it is not related with this. Some ladies want to change their periods. For some temple, they are going for temple, and that time, can we regulate
Yes,
the time?
doctor.
We can change the menstruation.
Causticum, there's a stalwart sitting over there, and Mama's, it is all her tips I've been getting throughout my life. Causticum has helped me quite a lot with this, but there is no guarantee. But sometimes happens ki, like these people are so stressed and they tend to overwork, especially during journeys, etc. They're just going to go on a journey. And so I do not give them a guarantee, but I do give them causticum because once I had this lady, it was pretty funny. Like she told me, doctor, I have to go to US and I hope I never get it in the flight. And some sixth sense told me she's just going to get it right in her flight. And she sits in her flights, give me a call saying she got it the moment, she sat there within a span of, I don't know, half an hour or so. And I was like, okay, I mean, you can't do anything about it. So costing is something which is generally help, but no guarantee. But I know I
Causticum,
can't
which
say because
potency?
if it's a
Which potency?
200, doctor, I give
200.
200. Generally, yes. And, as I said, see, this is a normal process. And, hampering with the normal process is something which I do not like. I do not allow them to do it. I tell them it's okay, like, to get menses or whatever. I mean, even if you get into temples and it's better, you do not go into temples rather than interfering with your normal cycles and your normal thing, whatever is happening in your body. The least you interfere with a good body, the better.
Okay, thank you. I will come to your mother. Before that, I am going to Dr. Beatrice from Handyman's Land. Unmute,
Yes, thank you,
yeah.
Dr. Hubert. Thank you very much. So it was a very, very interesting presentation. Thank you so much. And also, I'm happy to see you here and the other lady I know already, Dr. Ambadi. And it's impressing, really impressing how we can help the woman. And I would like to make a recommendation because here in Germany, we have a lot of sports and physical trainings and all these things. It's very common in our country. And what we feel also with menopause, that the women who are doing a lot of sports, they are much better than not having the sports. So like in India, it's not so easy. For me, my idea, perhaps I'm wrong, but my idea, if I would be in your place, I would recommend dancing for the woman. Why
yes.
dancing? Because dancing is a moderate way of moving. And for me, perhaps important that the pelvis, the abdomen and the pelvis has a good blood flow. So perhaps that could be an idea, not to make some sports, but to have a nice form of dancing.
Ma'am, I'm a living example. I'm turning 50 this year. And
Yeah.
I'm learning dance. And the few years I started. And at my 50th year, I should say, I'm doing Bharatanatyam, which is quite surprising for many people. But I love doing it. And it's beautiful.
Yes.
Age is just a number, is what I'm proving.
Yeah, what is your age?
I'm 50, sir.
57.
year
Okay.
I'm getting-
We don't
Okay.
believe. We don't believe this.
I can't believe it because I
Yes,
thought
sir.
you are 40s.
No, sir. I was 40 10 years back, and that's a compliment. Thank you very much. And you should see my mother. So you should
Uh,
understand, we don't age in a family, perhaps.
now Doctor,
And one
what
more question, perhaps, because of the language, I don't know whether I did understand correctly. If you use polycolinum, it could be used once a day or even twice a day, like you showed in your case. But if you use FSH, it will be day 6, you said, or
Yes, day 6, I
yes,
gave FSH 2 doses, ma'am, 5 and 6 or 6 and 7, depending on.
yes. And LH could be day 12.
9 or 10, just before the process of LH
Yeah.
naturally starts in our body, ma'am.
Day 9 or 10. Okay, thank you
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much. Very interesting.
Pleasure.
And
Thank you.
I'm happy to have these informations because we also in Germany have quite a lot of young women with that problem.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then here with allopathic medicine, they have that hormonal treatments
Yes,
and
ma'am.
which are very also difficult for the body. It's not nice to have that hormonal treatments.
True, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah,
Long
Thank you.
run,
yes.
Now,
have side.
Ramadevi, madam, what is your daughter's performance?
Can you hear
Yeah,
what
we
I
can
should
hear.
tell? She'll be all right from in every field. She is like that only. Really, I am lucky. Then
I am
for
lucky.
postponing menses, we should give Causticum 200 and Hamamelis tincture. Causticum 200 BD and Hamamelis tincture 10 drops each 2 times a day. In my case, I have given so many people and nobody has told the bad result. Especially during the
what time?
season. Pardon?
When we give that medicine?
1 week before we should charge.
Uh-huh.
Jose, ഒന്നും നിൽക്കണേ Jose.
Salim Kumar, doctor. Oh, yeah. Today your class, I think that after that Malayalam. Okay, okay.
Very good.
Okay, doctor. Now, Ram Pravish sir commented, made a comment. So you can talk. It is sir, unmute, sir. Unmute, sir. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. De Silva. Thank you, Dr. Asha Varghese and Beatrix, sir. And congratulations of Dr. Rama Devi Nani. जो है beautiful describe daughter PCOS case. Very nice presentation. And Dr. Asha V. Varghese, dynamic personality.
Thank you, sir.
Many kinds of medicine, folliculum, luteolate, xanthozylum. Very beautiful described medicine, PCOS
Thank you, sir.
and men's irregular. Thank you, Dr. Asha Varghese. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ram Pravish. And now I ask Dr. Jayachandran, sir. Please unmute, sir. Okay.
Hello. I have just come to the platform,
Yes,
so
sir.
I can't attend the class previously. Very sorry. Very I can hear from tomorrow on the Google.
Okay, sir. Now, after seeing this, after coming this Google, most of the people are watching after that only.
Yes,
So
sir.
I they we are going to make a feast for it. Then everybody will attend the class at the same time. They will. We are planning because of this doing all these things. We need money. So if we make a, I think that 1 rupee for to watch a video, not for a
Okay.
day's video. Is it
It's a good
acceptable
idea.
to all? 1 rupee.
It's a good idea. It is a good idea.
Only 1 rupee for a day. I think that if they are all paying for 1 rupee.
Yes, sir. Any revenue.
A small subscription, monthly
Yes.
30 rupees for 100 days, 100 rupees.
It's a
For
very good idea. Very good idea.
anybody can afford it. I think that
Yes, sir.
we are planning because we have many amount is all the time. We need money because taking this from some doctors only. That is very difficult. If they are. So I just put before you. So if it is good, 100 days for 100 rupees is good, isn't it? So now, Jayalalitha, Dr. Jayalalitha, unmute Dr. Jayalalitha.
Yes, Dr. Asha, it was excellent presentation.
Thank
I
you.
want to know that you told it is best medicine for hirsutism, Olianjak, is it?
Olianjak is pretty good, ma'am. But PCOS, until it is coming down, no, it will the hirsutism will not come down considerably. But Olianjak seems to be helping quite a lot, ma'am, because omega-3 and all.
Potency?
Ma'am, 3x or 6x is what we have been prescribing, ma'am.
Okay,
In lower
thank
potency, because cod liver.
Excellent presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Say a word of thanks, Doctor. Jayalalitha, Doctor, please say a word of thanks.
Thank you for a good presentation, and please come again. Thank you.
Okay, Doctor. Now it is our next session, and here we are concluding our English session. And Doctor, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation and very strong presentation. That is what I told in the previously, because you can have the power to screw into our minds the same thing in very deeply. So thank you, Doctor. So now let us go to our Malayalam session,
Come
next
again
session.
and again.
Again and again, we are very much delighted of your classes. Now we are passing to our Malayalam session. I invite Dr. P. Shaila to do the moderate for the Malayalam session. Please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hubert. Thank you all doctors in English session, particularly Dr. Asha B. Varghese, daughter of Dr. Ambadi. Namaskaram. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. ഇന്ന് IFPHന്റെ ഇടതടവില്ലാതെ തുടർന്നു വരുന്ന വെബ് പരമ്പരയുടെ 1311 ദിവസമാണ്. ഇന്ന് നമ്മോടൊപ്പം അതിഥിയായി എത്തുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ കുടുംബത്തിലെ തന്നെ ഒരു അംഗമായ ഡോക്ടർ MD സലിം കുമാർ ഡോക്ടറാണ്. സലിം കുമാർ ഡോക്ടറുടെ ക്ലാസ് ശ്രവിക്കുന്നതിനായി ഇന്ന് സൂം പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിലെത്തിയിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ ബഹുമാന്യരായ ഡോക്ടേഴ്സിനെയും ഹോമിയോപ്പതി സ്നേഹികളെയും സ്റ്റുഡൻസ്